Restreaming and live captioning. We've been talking about them for a while here at Wirecast, and we even did a little bit of a preview when the Wirecast 10 beta was released. But today we're going to dive right into these new services. They're available now. Well, they're in preview now, but this is what you need to know about Wirecast Restream and Wirecast Live Captions. Welcome to Wirecast Live. I'm your host. I will see you right after the credits. We'll be right back. Welcome back to another episode of Wirecast Live. I'm your host, Andrew Haley. Today is Thursday, August 2nd, 2018, and we are going to be talking all about new web services for Wirecast users. These were launched just hot off the presses. They're awesome, and we'll be talking about how to use them, what they do. They lower your CPU usage if you're streaming to multiple destinations. They add live captions to your streams. There's a bunch of stuff that they really do really well. So we're going to get into it. But before we do, we have a couple things we want to get through. Every week we do pick a winner on the show for a stream of the week. So if you're streaming out there with Wirecast, make sure you use the hashtag #WhereIsWirecast, and we'll do a search and we'll pick a stream of the week winner. This week's stream of the week winner is the Colorado Sports TV. They streamed the championship between the Denver Sharks and the Colorado Raptors, and they did it live on Facebook using Wirecast. We are very happy. I'm surprised anyone's playing football in July. That seems really like a hot time to play football, particularly on Saturday 28th. But it looks like this was a live broadcast and not a replay. So I just want to say thanks for sharing. The production value is great. If you're very curious about that, just Google it. The Colorado Raptors versus Denver Sharks, the Colorado Football Conference 2018 Championship. Thanks for sharing, Colorado.tv. You're the Stream of the Week winner this week. We have a couple news and announcements. We will not be having a show next week or the following week. We're off for 2 weeks for a break for the summer. Maybe we'll do a replay of a past episode. We don't know. We'll see. But there will be no live show the next 2 weeks. Now, that being said, when we do get back on August 23rd, we'll be interviewing Brian Dombrowski from Fantag, which is actually a pretty cool company that's just gotten up and started, and they do some neat stuff when it comes to sports, actually. So programs or sort of stadiums or football teams like the Colorado Football Conference can use Fantag to increase the user experience of people attending the game. So anyone can film the game on their phones. They can highlight replays, they can watch replays and tag things from different angles, and it all gets aggregated in the Fantag platform. And then you have a total awesome highlights reel from a million different camera angles of anyone who caught it, and players can watch their favorite plays. You can watch highlights of the game. There's a bunch of different things you can interact with on the Fantag platform. So we'll be getting into that. They're a pretty cool company, and we want to talk with them. So mark your calendars. That'll be August 23rd. We're here every week live, 2:30 p.m. on Pacific time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And you can find us at these following handles on social media: Telestream Wirecast on Facebook, at Wirecast on Twitter, and Wirecast Tube on YouTube, or just search for Wirecast. We post all of our old episodes on YouTube as well as Facebook, so check them out if you want to catch past episodes. You can also subscribe to our email list if you just want to get notified of our schedule. This is a great place to find out when we're taking a break for 2 weeks, say who our upcoming guests are. We won't spam you. We just let you know what's coming on the show or who's coming on the show and what the topics will be. So I encourage you to sign up there, and yeah, if you're curious, check it out. So I'm going to pull up your comments here while I'm just getting ready to transition into our topic. I just want to give a quick shout out to some of the folks who are joining us. Let me pull up my browser window here on my off screen. And I just want to say welcome. And if you're joining us for the first time, just let us know where you're watching from. Very curious to see if you're a new viewer or a longtime viewer. We have always welcome here. This is a fun place if you are learning to stream, if you're getting used to Wirecast for the first time, if there's topics you're interested to learn about around live streaming or live production, whether you're doing it for sports broadcasting, for House of Worship, or church streaming. There's a bunch of different reasons why you might want to live stream, or if you're just doing a talk show like this on social media, which many of our viewers and users do. So thank you. Let me see who we've got in the house. We've got Rob. There's a great sportscaster from Maine. Welcome. And John, welcome. Good evening from Scotland. Thank you. George Kennedy, longtime user of Wirecast, power user. You can find him on the forums if you're curious. Ask him questions. He's very knowledgeable, as well as some of the other folks here. Let me make sure I'm muted. I don't want you guys to overlisten here. We also have Nabi. That is a great name. Nabi from Melbourne, Australia. And Mark, welcome. Ryan, hi. Thanks saying hi from Trinidad. Awesome, in the Caribbean. Greg, good to see you. Michael and Matt Ulmer. Proud customer since Ustream 1.0. All right. Okay, so welcome you guys. Let's dive into Restream and Captions, and we'll get our demo going here. So why don't we cut to my screen, Deborah Lee, and what is going on my screen right now? There is a lot of windows open, and I see myself a lot. Well, this is Restream and Live Captions in action, and I'm going to show you how to recreate this. But right now, in this window, I have my YouTube stream to my YouTube channel. It is going very nicely, and I can enable the live closed captions or not. We also have the down here, the Periscope live stream right here. This is going to our Wirecast page where I'm doing the live captions. Now, Periscope, we'll talk about this, but they currently don't enable CE closed captions, CEA 608 closed captions. So there is no way to take advantage of captioning or closed captioning on the Periscope or Twitter platform right now. Hopefully they'll get that at some point. Up here we have Twitch, nicely handling our captions and our Restream source as well. And then finally, we have our Facebook page, which I'm streaming to my personal Facebook page. Again, captions are going and Restream going. So we have 4 destinations currently coming out of my Wirecast system, which is right here, and you can see that it is just replaying this video that we did of the new features in, I think, Wirecast 8, and it's going great. My CPU is extremely low for what I'm doing right now. I'm streaming to multiple destinations. The app CPU is super low. It's just playing a MP4 file back. We've got no dropped frames, and we can actually check in now that we're using the Restream and the live captions services. We can see that I currently have 4,933 minutes remaining of live captioning and 4,751 minutes of Restreaming. Now, that actually brings us to the preview. Right now, we are offering 5,000 free minutes of each in the technical preview for these services. So if you sign up at Telestream Cloud, or you can actually sign up in Wirecast in the latest version, you can, and I'm just going to get out my own, so it's just me there. You can sign up at Telestream Cloud and get a free account for each of those services and get 5,000 free minutes while they're in technology preview. Now, once they go outside of technology preview, those minutes will disappear and you'll be on, you'll have to go to the paid version of the services, which start around 500-minute subscriptions per month. But for now, I would take advantage of them. This is a great time to be testing out the service and using these minutes. It's a ton of minutes. I mean, it's hard to imagine somebody burning through all of them. But if you are doing a lot of restreaming, you'll notice that my minutes aren't equal. The restreaming minutes are counting down faster than my captioning minutes. That's because the captioning minutes are just what one audio stream and how often is it being captioned, or how many minutes are you using of captioning. So if I'm streaming my master output and it's in English, then 1 minute of streaming an English track equals minus 1 minute of captioning minutes from your service. Alternatively, if I'm sending that out to anywhere, so if I'm streaming it to Twitter and YouTube at the same time, well, then that 1 minute of captioning becomes 2 minutes of Restream minutes. So it's counting down, or it's going to deplete twice as fast as my captioning minutes. Again, if we add another destination, that's 3 minutes, and 4 minutes is right now. So this should be counting down 4 times faster than my live captions minutes. So just keep that in mind. Live captions requires a Restream subscription or a Restream minutes, because without the Restream engine, there's nowhere to send your captioned content. The nice thing, though, is that you only have to caption once, again, so you're only paying for those captioning minutes one time, and then the Restream minutes are really up to you as to how many destinations you're going to hit. But if you kept it 1-to-1, and you basically captioned your stream and sent it to one place, then those would deplete at the same rate. It would just be a 1-to-1. So Restream is very easy to just add on. The other nice thing about Restream is that there's no limit to the number of destinations. It's just a minute limitation. So you should be able to stream to as many destinations as you want. So other Restreaming services that I'm aware of typically have a certain destination limits or certain limits on how many Facebook pages you can stream to and the rest of it. There's no such limitations with this. You can basically pick as many destinations as you want inside Wirecast, and the Restream minutes will just count down accordingly. Okay, so let's take a step back and actually turn off the streams, and we will kind of recreate this from scratch. So we're going to stop the stream right now. And we're going to just sort of keep these windows sort of in the background hovering open, but they should sort of stop in a second, and we'll get back to it. And let's kind of see how would we set up a Restream or a caption from scratch. Okay. So what you're going to do, the nice thing about these services is that they are built into Wirecast for your convenience. So there may be a day when we open them up to anybody, but right now they're just available to Wirecast users, and they are built in to be the most convenient way to do Restreaming captioning through Wirecast. So they're kind of designed hand in glove to work together right now. So what you do is you don't really change much of your workflow. You're going to access these services just the same way you've always added destinations and streamed inside of Wirecast. So right here I have all 4 destinations added, and what I did was, because it's actually looks like I need to relaunch Wirecast here. Let's do that in a second. It's curious. I'm going to send the report here. We'll just do a quick save report. So again, if you sometimes do experience a weird crash like that, which I just did, I would recommend saving it or sending the report. Just a sec here. I think I'm naturally getting a demo bug here because I've got a lot going on my screen. Let's do this. Let's go to, oh, here we go. Okay. Report saved. Okay, cool. So we're going to reopen Wirecast, and we could recover. Let's just try recovering our project there. There's a recovered document, which is a new feature that I really like. If there is a crash, we're going to save as to, and we're going to call it Restream and Captions. And we'll save it to the desktop. Okay. So we've got our document here. We're going to go to the output settings, and you'll find that in the same way that you have always added destinations, you'll do that here. Now, what I did here was I chose Facebook as my generic RTMP destination. So I chose to add all of the other ones through the normal login. So Facebook is the only one with the restriction on logging in. So I didn't log in using the Live API through Facebook. However, I did log into all my other accounts on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, just for the convenience, the sake of convenience. Okay, so what I did obviously was I enabled Restream for all of these, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's jump back to each one individually, and I'll kind of recreate how we did this. I'm also going to just uncheck enable live captions, and we're going to log out of my account. So if you've never logged in or you don't have a live caption account, this is what you'll see when you open the live output settings, and then you can add destinations as you go. So let's actually do that very quickly. So what I'm going to do is actually go back to basically nothing here. And we'll just pretend we have no destinations. Okay, so this is totally clean. We've opened the output settings window. It's like we've added nothing to the project. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an RTMP server, just a generic RTMP server. That is going to be my Facebook destination. So I'm going to title it Facebook, and I'm going to have to copy and paste the Facebook information in there. And actually, it's already kind of holding there, which is great. So next, we're going to add our other destinations, but it might be good at this point just to log in to our Telestream Cloud account down here. So if I haven't logged in yet, this is a good time to log in, add a destination, then log in. You can do it in any order you want, but I prefer to just get this part of it already logged in. Now, the nice thing is once you log in, every time you open Wirecast, your login should remain. You shouldn't have to re-log into your Telestream Cloud account. It should remember that, the last account that you logged into. So we're going to log in. If you haven't signed up, just sign up. I'm going to enter my username and password just so I can have access to my full minutes. So here we go. This is what it'll look like after you log in. You should see a remaining minutes total, and then you can choose your encoding profile for Wirecast Restream. So this is the size at which you can currently stream at. Now, currently, Restream does not allow you to stream in any other sizes than 720p or 720p 30, 4 megabits or 2 megabits per second. So you could, in theory, be encoding out of Wirecast at 1080 to some destinations, but any destinations you hit from Telestream Cloud from using Restream will be at one of these two sizes, or whatever size you select. So just keep that in mind. This is a little over, say, like Periscope's recommended settings. So Periscope's going to flag you a little bit and say, hey, it's kind of high in terms of your audio or your video. But Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, they all do fine with these sizes at 720. But if you're trying to hit a 1080p full quality Restream, that is not yet in the options for output from Restream. Okay, and just to be a little closer to Periscope's current sizes, I'm going to choose the 2 megabits per second so it doesn't gripe at me quite as much. But I haven't done a ton of testing. You may be just fine with the 4 megabits per second, whatever you want. Depends on how important Periscope or Twitter is to you, and you can do some testing. Generally, I've found it's not too big a deal. But we're going to hit the 2 megabit per second there. And then we're just going to check enable live captions. So right now I have 5 languages I can choose from, including English, 2 types of English, the Great British English and the US English. And then there's French, Portuguese, and Spanish as well. So we'll actually play around with some of the other, actually maybe we could do that now. Why don't we pick I have a Portuguese video that I just sort of grabbed. So we'll try that and I'll bring it in a second. Then I'm going to add, so we've got Facebook. It's time to add our other destinations. So let's add YouTube, of course, got to have YouTube. We're going to add Periscope and Twitter. And we're going to add Twitch. Okay, right there we've covered pretty much the major platforms and social media destinations. And now it's time to just log in and make sure that everything is good. So Twitch is remembering my last login. The nice thing about them is they kind of let you select your nearest ingest point or ingest server. I kind of like that about the Twitch. So I'm pretty close to the San Francisco, San Jose. So we're going to choose those. And I don't really have to do anything else there. I just need to make sure that I enable Restream. Okay, that automatically takes my encoding preferences off the table. It says it has to be at 720p, 2 megabits per second. We're gonna do the same thing with Periscope. I'm gonna call this Portuguese live captions and Restream test. Okay. I could choose to automatically tweet out. I do want to automatically stop broadcasting. That's all good. We're going to, again, check enable Restream. And you'll notice every time I check enable Restream, I get the little cloud icon and I get the CC. So captions, again, you automatically get captions if you enabled captions here. If I uncheck captions, then the CC goes away. But it will follow because it doesn't cost you anything extra to caption to other destinations. Because you've already captioned the stream once, you don't need to recaption it again. So we'll jump in, we're gonna do enable captions. We still got Portuguese, those come back. We're gonna jump back to YouTube. Again, we're gonna do enable Restream. Now here's where YouTube is a little picky right now. It's not automatically going to accept captions. You have to tell YouTube online ahead of time, and we've not yet built in that notification into Wirecast API. So I'll actually be submitting a request for this very shortly, that we can check a box that automatically enables live captions or notifies your YouTube event that you can do that. The other thing about it is you cannot stream captions to your default live channel. So you have to stream it to an event. So what we need to do is create a live event. So I'm actually just going to make a new one, and I'm going to call it Portuguese captions and Restream test. We'll set it for 3. That's fine. I can actually just copy and paste this. Boom. And public animation, fine. We're going to do all that. Okay. So save. And that's going to update. Now, what we do need to do is we need to jump over to YouTube and find that event. So let's go find it and change it so that it's ready for captions. And I think it's over in here. So I need to go to my Creator Studio, go find my live events, live streaming, and we're going to go to events. And there you can see that's the one I just did, or was just now. We're going to go to upcoming, which I just created. And here's the Portuguese captions test. So we need to jump in there, and we actually need to edit it. And you will find the captions enable checkbox under the ingestion settings. So we're going to click on ingestion settings, and here you can see all the information. But what you're really interested in is, if you want closed captions, is this little box right here. So embedded 608, 708. So Wirecast live caption service currently does 608 only. 608 just means it can only do Roman languages at the moment, Roman or Latin languages. It doesn't do all the character sets. So that's one rule about it. There's other restrictions that 608 has. Look for 708 in the future, but it's not, currently it's just 608. So we're going to start with 608. And there's a notification here that says the embedded captions are only available while this is a live event. Coming soon, captions will automatically transfer to archive. So if you're expecting your live captioned transcript to automatically be in the replay video, then that's not going to happen on YouTube at the moment. Now, one trick is, I believe on Facebook, you can grab your embedded caption file that came with it in transcript. We'll have to double check. You may be able to download that and then upload it to the VOD version if this is really important to you. So there may be some workarounds here, but once you have that transcript, you can upload the file. But just be aware that right now YouTube has that limitation. So every platform is a little different when it comes to captions right now, so you just kind of have to keep that in mind. So we'll save the changes, and then back in Wirecast, we're good. We can now select the Portuguese event, and we can stream to it. We're going to automatically start streaming. The last one that I need is my Facebook event, and I'm not sure if I need to do a new stream key for this. We'll have to see. It may be that we actually have to come back here, because I already created this on Facebook a little earlier when I was doing that test that you saw when we launched it. Let's see if we can just re-hit that, because I actually chose persistent stream key, and we'll see if we can stream right back to it. So that's it. You've basically selected all of your destinations, you've added them, you know which events you're going to hit, and we should be good to go. So let's just add our Portuguese video under media file, and it should be on my desktop. And I think I just titled it Brazilian. Okay, here we go. So we're going to send that live, and we're going to stream it. I'm going to, so you can see. So that's just a parliamentary proceeding from Brazil that I grabbed, and then we're going to stream it live. So all the flashing, it's as it connects to each. So what Wirecast is now doing is it's sending a single stream up to Telestream Cloud, and it is from Telestream Cloud, it is populating the stream at 720p, 2 megabits per second to all of the destinations that we selected. And I don't see any errors at the moment. It seems like everything connected, so we should be pretty good. We can check here, our minutes seem to be good, our CPU's good. So let's go back on the back end and just make sure, oh, there's one. So that's probably our Facebook destination, yeah. So we probably need to get in there and change that update that with some information. So go to output settings. We're going to jump into Facebook, and let's just make sure we have correctly added that. And I think I've got Facebook under here. That's Periscope, so I guess it's under here. Here we go. So we're going to jump into our facebook.com/live/create. And this is the one pain, of course, about having to do it through RTMP, but it's okay. We'll grab this and we'll say Portuguese live captions test. And I think I spelled that wrong. There we go. And we'll grab this, and we're going to do a persistent streaming. We'll hit schedule. Here we go, and I'm just going to grab this guy, jump back to Wirecast, and dump it in here. Okay, that should do it. And then if we go to output, we may have to stop them all and start them all up again. Stop broadcasting. Yeah, so we may need to stop them all. So another thing is that if it doesn't hit on one, I'm not sure there's a way you can jump in at the moment and automatically just restart the one. So that's another thing to be aware of. So make sure you get all that correct before you go. Otherwise, one of them may just have to be left out. So let's stop it, and then we'll start it again. Says my event already completed. So because I checked automatically start. Okay, and cool. So of course Facebook's okay now, but now my other ones are probably a little bit wonky. Let's go back to our other destinations and see how they're doing. So we're going to grab this one. We can see under my account here, we're going to go to producer. We can see that we are getting a broadcast here from, so I think the only ones that are going to be a little finicky may be YouTube or Facebook, because they've got some sort of rules there. This is probably coming from Telestream Cloud, I think, this sort of color bars, because obviously I don't have that coming from here. Let's just go back and create a new event on Here we go. I'm going to jump into so I think Twitch is channel-based, Periscope's channel-based, so it's very it's no problem to just continually hit those ones with a live stream. And even your YouTube live channels, same, it has no issues with that. The problem, of course, is that you can't get captions on that, so you have to do an event-based stream. Similar with Facebook, you have to do an event-based stream. You have to pre-schedule live events. So if you are bringing in live events, that's where Restream, it gets a little bit pickier because you're hitting a very specific ingest point, and it's only good for the time and the date and the rest of it. So just be aware of that. If you're just hitting your channels, not a big deal. But if you're getting in the live captions, then there's some rules that you have to follow when you're setting up these events. So let's just go back. We're going to, might as well set up the events ahead of time. So we'll just create new ones on Facebook and YouTube. So let's go to a new one. And I'm just going to close this one. We're going to create a new one. Another Portuguese test. And we're going to share on page. Maybe we'll do it there. We're going to share. There it is. We're going to use persistent stream key. We're going to grab that. And we're going to jump, I'm going to grab that in just a second. Let's jump over to YouTube now. Go to our Creator Studio and just create a new event. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm going to jump into our events under live streaming. We're going to create a new event. Portuguese test captions and restream. Public, that's fine. We'll hit create event. Okay, we're going to go to ingestion settings. Save. Okay, well, I guess we're just going to do we can do 720p. Let's just do single. You no longer need to specify the resolution and frame rate for new stream keys. I see. Let's just create a new one, and we're going to go to, that's fine. Close captions, we do want that. And we're going to hit save. Okay, so that one's created. Our YouTube one, we're going to go grab this. And we're going to hit schedule. And now we're going to jump back to Wirecast. We're going to jump to our output settings. And we are going to just jump into Facebook and publish to the correct point. Back in YouTube, we're going to grab our upcoming events. There it is. We're good. We're going to automatically start event. We should be okay now. Let's just jump back into Twitter, Periscope. I think they're probably, let's call this. And I think we're good. We've saved it all. And now we will hit the stream button. So awesome. I think we're good. Let's go check on everybody. So if we go to our page on Facebook, we should see another Portuguese test. Okay, we'll click on there to see if the stream is being received. Event log says it's got it from status to preview. So we should be good there. We're going to hit fetching video stream, so it's coming through. We'll just do a manual start. Okay. And we can change to go live. So we'll push that one live. Bada boom. Now let's jump over to YouTube and view on watch page. There it is. So we're good here. And we've even got the captions coming through, which is great. Do a quick rescan there. Okay, so we've got our live captions for Portuguese there. Let's go. Facebook's a little funny there. They won't show the captions on their sort of your generic view page for if you're the creator. So you kind of have to, oddly enough, go find your page. And so if we go to Andrew and click on our page here, let's go to the Andrew page. You find the posts. You'll see captions, or you'll be able to enable captions there, but you won't necessarily see it in some of your viewing windows. So there, we've got the stream going there. We've got the Portuguese captions coming through. And then we've got, let's check on Periscope. We can actually, again, just go to our profile and Portuguese live captions. Oh, that one ended already. There you go. There's actually one we're doing right now, which is another test. So there's Periscope coming through. And finally, let's check on Twitch, which should be here. We'll go to Twitch. And there it is live now in Twitch with the captions. So there it is. You've got 4 destinations. Again, if you want the captions, it adds a little complexity when it comes to YouTube and setting up your events ahead of time. And then if you're wanting to take advantage of, obviously, work around Facebook's limitations for logging in and using their API and third-party applications, there's very strict rules on not being able to log into their API and access all that while also logging into competitive APIs like YouTube's and Facebook's and the rest of them. So you need to copy and paste the stream keys they make available if that is if you're planning on using a restreaming service and you need to simulcast, which some people do. So those are kind of the ins and outs of it. Obviously, when I tried to retarget a a Facebook event, that was a little problematic, so I had to stop and recreate those. But if you're aware of those loopholes and you're aware of those, not loopholes, but those limitations and those restrictions, then you'll be fine. And it works really, really well. So I hope that's helpful for you. And obviously, we tried it I tried it in English before we started the stream, and we tried it in Portuguese now that we're deeper into the stream. So if you have questions about that, now I'm going to check your comments and questions. I'm going to pull up those right now, and we can talk about those real fast. And then I think we'll wrap up for today. Okay, let's see how that... Ari says, images from my country. You must be in Brazil. Okay. We see, can I monitor the stream in the cloud? Not yet. Again, I think the monitoring tools, being able to start, stop, having kind of a console manager in Telestream Cloud is on the way. It's something, I think will be critical to this down the road. But for now, there is no front-end monitoring solution in Telestream Cloud for your restream and your live captions. Again, these are preview, still in beta, early stage, but they are working really well and they are pretty darn convenient. So again, version 1, even pre-version 1 of the product, but a ton of functionality already and really easy to activate and access from within Wirecast. If a venue has IP restrictions like blocking Facebook, YouTube, would sending to the cloud require IP approval? No, it shouldn't, Bill, because you're going to be targeting the main thing that's going out of Wirecast is if you go to look at your output settings inside Wirecast, you'll see there's just a single Telestream cloud destination and then all of these additional destinations that I've that it's targeting from there. But all that retargeting is happening within the cloud. So really, unless your venue somehow blocking Telestream cloud or its ingest servers, then you'll be fine. So that shouldn't affect you. Let's pull that back. Likewise, if Facebook is blocked, but going to the cloud isn't, then should I still be send if just Facebook? Should still be. Yeah. As far as sending to the IP address of Telestream Cloud, I think it's going to be a domain. It's going to be probably cloud.telestream.net. So you just need to make sure that's approved. But keep that in mind. There may be, if it's running on Amazon or if it's running on Google, there may be additional ones, but should be fine there. Yeah, and then if Facebook is important to you, you could always add it as, other ones as RTMP destinations, and then do that. One thing I did forget to mention is if you're restreaming to one destination, it's generally useful to restream to all of them because the cost of restreaming to a single destination is the same as restreaming to multiple destinations as far as your bandwidth goes. So obviously with your minutes, those will count down faster the more destinations you add. But as far as your bandwidth goes, Restream needs a single stream from Wirecast locally and then needs to copy and distribute that out to multiple destinations. So the cost for you is the same in terms of your bandwidth and upload. If you add a second destination and you're like, I don't want to use my Restream minutes for my second destination for whatever reason, then you're actually you may not be depleting your Restream minutes, but you will take the hit on bandwidth because now Wirecast has to send one stream to Telestream Cloud for restreaming, has to send a second stream to your other destination that kind of goes around or outside of Cloud and Restream. So you're not only taking the hit and you're uploading two streams from Wirecast, which is kind of how it used to work before Restream existed, one bandwidth stream per destination, but it's also encoding multiple destinations as well. So now you're encoding twice and uploading twice locally. So just keep that in mind. I forgot to mention that, but Restream is advantageous that way because, as far as your resources, it doesn't cost you any more the more that you are, the more destinations you're trying to target. So we can automatically start Facebook like the others. So Facebook has what's called an automatic start and a scheduled start. So that's when you create the live event on Facebook and you set the time, it will roll live automatically. So even if you're streaming to it pre-streaming or doing an early stream, say a half hour before your live event, your audience won't see it. It'll, anyone on your pages or where it's posted will just see this event will begin at such and such time. You may already be streaming content to it, but no one's going to see it. It rolls live automatically at the scheduled time. So there's a scheduled automatic live. Now there's another option called manual start, which says, don't send any signal live until I push go live on Facebook. Most of the platforms have a feature like this. So that's kind of how it works. Now, what you saw in here was that I had a scheduled post and then I forced it to go live anyway because you can override that scheduled time. If you want to go live a little early, then that's no problem. Facebook will let you push that live early. And then Greg, looks like you're explaining the Facebook kind of rules as far as APIs. Let's see. There's no auto start for Facebook. There's no checkbox similar to say a Periscope or a YouTube automatically start streaming. Those do have automatic overrides within the API. Now, because I was in I was not logged into Facebook inside Wirecast, I wouldn't have been able to check a box anyway, because there's no login, there's no API authentication like there was for YouTube or Periscope. So I had no way to control my Facebook pages or platforms from within Wirecast, because that's one of the rules of that. I was just copying and pasting a generic stream key or RTMP server, and I titled it Facebook for my own reference, so I knew where it was going. But as far as Wirecast is concerned, and as far as Facebook's concerned, this is just a generic address and publishing point, and it has no control. It's just listening quietly or dumbly, and it's just, it's just hitting it with an RTMP stream. And this could be, there's any destination. It's really the Wirecast and Telestream Cloud don't really know where this is. They're just publishing a stream to there. On the back end, Facebook's listening and ready and receiving and has an event to tie this to. But I have no control of pushing it live or anything from within Wirecast using the limited information here. I would have to log in for that, but I can't do that if I also want to log into YouTube or Periscope or Twitch. Hope that makes sense. Okay, looks like Greg explained that quite well. Andrew, 1.5 megabytes for Restream, please. We need it for Australia. So it sounds like Restream, you want to actually lower it from 2 to 1.5. Greg, would that also be at 720? I'd be curious to know if that size still works for that, or would you need to drop it down one more to, say, the 854 size by 480 or something like that? Any translation features to the captions? Oh yeah, so translation features are not yet available. So stream and caption in the language you're streaming and captioning in. You can't cross convert. But again, I would certainly expect that to be in the roadmap, but I have no information on when translation will be available. Any issues bringing in Rendezvous through a Zoom? Still Restream? No, actually, one of the nice things about Restream is it should save you bandwidth you can allocate for things like Restream. Restream should save you bandwidth that you can allocate for things like Rendezvous or Skype or Zoom calls. So this is another reason why Restream should be helpful to you as a Wirecast user, particularly for folks like you, Greg, with limited bandwidth in Australia. So it sounds like we need to ratchet it down even a little bit more. Why choose Telestream's Restream service over other restreaming services? That's a good question. Again, I think the main thing that this boils down to is the convenience of it already being in Wirecast and, not really something that you have to jump to other platforms to configure. Now, I did have to do a little bit of external configuration through Facebook, but you'd have to do that anyway with any Restream service because, Facebook has those limitations on the API. But other than that, you'll notice I pretty much never left the Wirecast interface, and all the restreaming was already configured. So I think there's that. There's also the sort of the no limits on destinations and things like that. But this is basically there for you inside Wirecast. Should be very convenient. Now, but I've not tried to do a one-to-one comparison with other Restream services, so I don't know other advantages beyond the convenience of it and sort of the no limits in terms of destinations or access or API. That's all negotiated right within Wirecast. But I expect this to get more and more competitive the longer it's out because we'll be adding more and more features to it and additional options. And right now it's free, so that's a huge advantage if you're going to be using it. 5,000 minutes is a lot, so take advantage of it while you can and test it. Live captions with translation would be awesome. Agreed. And 1.5 is already available for YouTube at 720. We had that for Australia. That would be awesome. Okay, cool. Good to know. Tom, I'm confused by the message that sent by Wirecast yesterday. Note, streaming to live events has been permanently deprecated by Facebook. It has been permanently deprecated by Facebook. I think that there's more nuance to that. So you can go, there's links in that email that we sent out. It should tell you the post, and Facebook explains very clearly what they're turning off for whom and what's permanently disabled. They have some things that I think they're just not going to be turning back on with the live API. And then other ones are updated or changed, and software has to be reapply to get permission to access those live API tests. So do a little more reading, check the links in the email, and I think it'll become clear when you go to Facebook and you'll find out exactly what they're turning on and turning off. They're pretty clear in their post, and it's not too, I don't think Telestream's sort of role is to completely repost everything Facebook wrote. They're much more specific. But as far as our software goes, we just need to be clear that versions 8 and earlier are pretty much not going to work with Facebook login, which is, just the way it is. You can't access all that stuff. So keep that in mind. Good questions, guys. Bill Seward, to push to multiple groups or pages in Facebook, I'd have to configure each one in output, right? Yeah, pretty much. You'd actually just have to configure them on the Facebook. I mean, it depends. So if you're just streaming to Facebook and that's the only destination you're streaming to, then you should be able to add Facebook multiple times and just change the destinations inside Wirecast. And that would be an interesting test, actually, of Restream. So if, for example, you wanted... I don't know, you wanted to stream to, I don't know. See, it's a cost benefit because Facebook has things like cross posting. So it may just be easier to just do a single stream to a Facebook page and then just check cross posting. And then that's like restreaming it within Facebook because it'll automatically serve that up on multiple pages. Now, if there's for some reason there's different accounts that you can't cross post to or different groups that you want to post to that you can't stream to, might be worth testing where you log in Wirecast, add the groups and pages and as destinations inside Wirecast, and then check Restream and see if Restream can hit each one of those independently. I don't know. Haven't tried that. But that would be an all internal sort of Facebook restreaming technique. Otherwise, it'd be kind of a huge pain if you're also then streaming this content outside of Facebook to, say, Periscope or YouTube, because now you run into the API restrictions. So you have to either log into Facebook and not log into the others, or log into the others, and then you're on the Facebook page configuring all your live events and copy and pasting those stream keys generically into Wirecast. So you kind of have to weigh the cost of effort versus the benefit. To push to multiple groups or pages in Facebook, yes, that was the question we just answered there. Okay, I think that's it, guys. That was a good conversation. I hope this was helpful to you. I actually kind of ignored the YouTube chat audience, so let me jump over there real fast and see if there's any questions to answer, and then we'll wrap up for today. Let me pull that up, and we got live streaming. Here we go. Ooh, plenty of chat going on over on YouTube. So I see, Greg, you're on both. Paladin Radio, hooray. Watching from Tucson. Thanks for chiming in, Ryan. Dr. Allen. This is going to be hugely important to broadcast with Facebook and RTMP changes. Can't wait. Very cool. Village Sports. Let's see. Why can't we stream to YouTube, Periscope, Facebook all at the same time? And Facebook will not allow multi-streams. Yeah, so again, right back to that. If you're streaming outside of Facebook, can't log in. and that should be consistent across the board, no matter what service you're using. If they have allowed you to log in to YouTube, your YouTube account and your Facebook account, or your Facebook account and Periscope and Twitch and the rest of your accounts, they are in violation of Facebook's developer terms of service. So they will get reported, and Facebook will turn off their access to their live API, the Facebook Live API. So the rule should be consistently enforced across everyone who accesses the Facebook Live API. And that is just an anti-competitive rule that Facebook has about that. Alex, I always have issues with my streaming when I stream with Google Hangouts. My audiences can hear my friends, but not me. That sounds like a support question, Alex. I don't think I can necessarily answer that without getting into your workflow and how you're doing things, watching your streams. But if you need help or support, I'm sure our team can help you. Either tweet at us or start a support ticket over at telestream.net/support. Can broadcast on YouTube and can you broadcast and take messages live on screen? I'm not quite clear on what you're saying there, Mehmet. Can you broadcast to YouTube? Can you broadcast to YouTube and take in messages live on the screen? Oh, maybe you were asking about comments, live comments on the screen to YouTube. Yeah, it's possible. There's no direct way within Wirecast at the moment that's built in, like our Twitter feed, which you can just take Twitter messages and put them on screen. So if it's just Twitter, then it's no problem. It's really easy. If you are wanting to grab YouTube comments specifically and put them on screen to wherever you're broadcasting, then you'll need something that grabs YouTube comments and puts them into a live display. There's a bunch of different tools out there. Probably the simplest one to use with Wirecast is the Titler Live Social. So Titler Live Social is a sort of paid upgrade version of Titler Live, which comes free with newer versions of Wirecast. And it can grab YouTube comments, it can grab Twitter comments, and it can grab Facebook comments, and then feed them into little on-screen displays. It can do that through NDI over your network, so from a separate machine. It can do that on the same machine as Wirecast. There's a bunch of different ways to configure that. And that's probably the way I would do it if I was using Wirecast. Let's see, we use Wirecast on our sports event and broadcast in Brazil. We love Wirecast. Awesome. Good to hear all sports. Thanks for sharing. All right. That was our tour of Wirecast Live Restream and Wirecast, I should say. That was our tour. One more time. That was our tour of Wirecast Restream and Wirecast Live Caption services, which are out now in preview, and you can get 5,000 free minutes and try them now. You should download the latest version, Wirecast 10 or later, to get access to these services right within your output settings inside Wirecast. Thanks for watching. We are taking a 2-week break. We will be back on August 23rd with a live interview with Brian Dombrowski from Fantag. We'll be talking about live sports and the Fantag app and how it works with streaming and Wirecast and to improve your fan experience at live games. So check it out. I'll see you then, 2 weeks. So thanks so much for watching, and we will be back August 23rd. So actually more like 3 weeks. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful summer. I hope this show was great. Thanks to our partners who help us make it possible. And we will see you next time on Wirecast Live. Thanks so much for watching. I'm your host, Andrew, and we'll be back.